I love that, those character traits now pay off now because you're one of the owners of an Engen forecourt. And what I know about Engen and what I know about the entire process, the delivery, the ordering of the fuel, how it arrives, there is no room for error there. It is a strict process and it is meticulous, right? Am I right in assuming that? Can we step into you owning your own Engen forecourt?
Yeah, absolutely. I think every franchise has got a certain guideline of rules that have got to be adhered to by everybody. But I think certainly in the petroleum space, as we can see that with the Engen and Petronas brand, they're miles away from the rest, and everybody will probably catch up, or they will play the catch up. We see it with the lubricant space, with the merger with Petronas and Mercedes. Lubricants play a vital part in motorsport. They control temperatures within the engine, they keep it cooler, and they lubricate obviously the moving parts of the vehicle, to say the least. But
yeah,
it's got strict guidelines that you should follow. It allows you, it's an 80-20% rule, where sometimes you could come with your own creativity as an entrepreneur, do things differently, spice up the thing, and if it works well, it works well in your favor, and it also works well in Engen's favor.
So as a normal driver, I drive up into your petrol station, your Engen forecourt. What should I know about lubricants? Like, what is gonna make life easier for my car? Because I'm just like 95 and then I move on with life. Give me tips. Give us tips. We're all listening here. Give us tips of what we should be asking for.
Fuel is the same, but it just works on the different blends of fuel and who blends better than the other. I've been with the company for a number of years. I started in 1999 with them. So it's like it's home, to say the least. So, when it comes to oils as well, there are different blends. The companies blend differently. So those that pay attention to detail will blend the best product. And you can see it in the international space in Formula One, because it's the pinnacle of motorsport, Petronas and Mercedes. And now it's fully synthetic oils. It's no longer the oils that at a certain temperature, the viscosity of the oil, which means the thickness of the oil, becomes very thin, and it ends up not lubricating well. And then at the end of the day, it causes sludge at the bottom. So you end up having this thick sludge of oil, which doesn't sort of resonate well with the performance of the vehicle. So within Engen, we've got various applications of products in the oil space. So the modern car obviously does very well with fully synthetic oils, and that's the best oil that you can find in the market at this point in time.
And one of my favorite questions to ask anyone, especially somebody that I'm in awe of, and I love your work on every level that I've seen it. What's your legacy? What do you want your legacy to be? Where is this going? Can we see you back in the racing space on, in other roles, like an ownership role, like a principal of a company role? Where can we see this going?
It would be nice to be able to share some of the knowledge, the skill, expertise with the young generation. And more importantly, I think on the discipline aspect of life, because it's discipline that is going to propel you forward. You've got to be different from the next driver. But more importantly, I still think what I'll do in the latter part of my years, I'll have some stints in Europe where probably I'll take part in some of the 25-hour or the 9-hour races when time allows it. And here at home, I think we've done what we needed to do. More importantly, on the racing scene, we've been the pioneers in many regards. So I think now I can leave it up to the youngsters. I'm happy to give advice. I'm happy to guide where necessary, and use those networks to help other youngsters get to Europe and get to America.
And when you think back and, you take a time machine and you land, right in front of your car, and you see yourself in the car in the beginning of every race that you've ever done, which one is the most memorable?
Anela, I cherish every moment because every moment has been special. It's like people say which championship was better, the first one or the second one. Both those championships were brain frying because they all came to the T. It's not like I had a 40 points gap between me and the second person. When we went to the last race, there was always 1 point that separated us. So anybody could have won that championship. So they're special. I think the first one was special because I dedicated it to my grandfather who had supported me all the years. And because he passed away on the same year I won the championship. So it became very special, and because it was the first of many championships, and I won the second one. And it was also special because times were different. It was tough. I had lost my role model, my mentor. So they were both different, but they hold different values of importance in my life.
It's like your kids. You can't pick a favorite kid, you know.
No.
You love them
No, I can't.
the same way.
Yeah, they're naughty, so you learn to tell the other one, stop being naughty, you're going to be short of love, and carry on, so on like that. So I try and manipulate it that way.
Well, you know, with years of racing, you need to learn how to manipulate people to get what you want. So I can see it's paying off in the household. Listen, Chops, thank you so much for your time. Like I say, always in awe of you. I think you're wonderful. I really feel we could extract more out of your mind, you know, in terms of propelling the sport in South Africa forward and just, you know, making it go on a global level. I look forward to a day where there'll be an F1 driver from South Africa. And I think that you will be right there, being like their Nicky Lauda, you know, being their soundboard. So I don't stop what you're doing. Don't just sell petrol. We like the petrol that you sell with Engen, but don't just stop there.
No, thank you, Adela. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know, there's it's good. It's good to know that, you know, even when you take a back seat, there's still people that actually yearn for your expertise and knowledge to be out there and to be shared with the rest of the world, or to be shared with the rest of South Africa. So I'm hoping and praying that one day we will see a driver from South Africa in an F1 car.
Nah, you know, as South Africans, we've done things to shock people. I mean, Stephanie's from Zimbabwe as well. I'm sure I was listening to radio stations in Zimbabwe when Stephanie, you know, got on that podium and she got the Constructors' Cup. They were in disbelief. People were asking each other, "Do you know her? Do you know her?" And you see people, "Oh, no, I went to preschool with her. No, I went to high school with her." Then there's this thing that we all, you know, we want to make her ours. And the fact that, you know, she doesn't forget Zimbabwe and she mentions it. And there's just so many people in South Africa who've gone on to do wonderful things, and they always hold that flag high. So I think it's any day now, really any day now.
Let's hope so. I think when you come from and the African continent and you make it big in Europe, you really feel you've achieved something that no other person has achieved, and you hope that it sort of it becomes crystal clear to other people that they can also achieve the same if they just put the effort into it and ask the right questions and run with the right crowds. They'll also make it.
Yeah, I see Stephanie's nodding. Let me bring her back in here. Steph, I'm about to log off and say goodbye to you guys. Is there a question, Steph, that you feel like we should ask you and no one's asked you this question, but you're like, but guys, I have this answer. I'm ready to give it to you. Or are you at ease? Have you said everything you need to say?
I'm at ease, but maybe I can give a bit more of an insight into what exactly we do with the analysis in the lab for some of you guys. So the equipment that I have a spectrometer, and we use that for the Syntium engine oil and the Tutela gearbox oil. And I burn a sample of the oil, a 2 milliliter sample, so such a small sample. And the results from that will tell me exactly how much of every metal is within that sample. So I can see there. It's like doing a blood test on a human. When you go for a blood test, we can see if you have high cholesterol or whatever the particular problem may be. That's exactly what I do with the engine and gearbox oil. I have another machine called the gas chromatograph, and that analyzes the Premax fuel. And that takes half an hour to run. So it's a bit longer to run that machine. And it's similar to using your fingerprint to unlock the modern day phone. That fingerprint of the fuel has to match the fingerprint of the approved fuel that the FIA has approved before the race. So I'm sure you've experienced some of this when you've been racing yourself, and yeah, it's great to be able to be in the conversation with all of you.
And quickly, I mean, a lot of kids are gonna watch this, and I'm literally gonna force it down every South African child's, face, okay? Because they have to see this. If I'm a child and I'm in school right now, what subjects am I looking at? What am I looking at excelling in to even remotely think I can look in your direction and take your path?
To be honest, it wouldn't be about my direction and my path. It's about what interests you. What are you interested in? Pursue those subjects. That's the most important thing. I loved maths and science at school, and that's what I pursued. And that's where my parents pushed me, because that's where I had the interest. I wasn't the most amazing mathematician when I first started out, but I really loved the subject. So they helped me in all avenues, sent me for extra tuition, and that love for the subject just grew the more that I understood it. And now I'm to be an engineer. So I'm really thankful for all my parents have done. But the important thing is doing what you love. Push yourself in the subjects that you really love and focus on them. Doesn't mean that you forget about all the other subjects. Still work hard at everything, but make sure that at the end you're doing a career that you absolutely love. I love my job, and I love being able to go to the paddock every day and do something that I'm so passionate about.
And like Chop said earlier, discipline. There's passion, there's direction, but if you are not more disciplined than the next person, then you are not going to go the way that you're supposed to go. Guys, thank you so much. I don't want to hog any more of your time. My heart is full from this conversation, and I look forward to the next time that we do this. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Cheers, Anene. Thank you kindly.